Hello. How are we doing today? It's a beautiful day. Oh, I dropped my poor little guy. I dropped my poor little guy. Thank you. I dropped my little Narcissus daffodil beautiful guy.
They're all crumpled.
Well, yeah, they've been crumpled. I think it's a little chilly for them. I think that once it warms up a little bit after this wave of cold, that my lovely flowers will feel a lot better. I doubt you can hear it, but it's raining nicely outside. Excuse me. How are we doing? Can you hear me okay? Hello. Yes. Excellent. Do you need to be closer or further? Would you like to be able to see the book while I read, or should I just read directly on? A few viewers are not in your fan club. Join the fan club fam, dudes. A little closer. So when I read a book, it'll be like this. Can you see it? Would you like to see it? Should we do firecrackles since the rain is quiet now? We can do that. How are we doing? Can you see me okay? I turned up the light a little bit. This fire crackling audio is brought to you by Cat Trumpet. Get these on because I'm going to be reading today and I cannot see. Are we ready to start, or should I keep doing introductions? are you doing, my love? Brandy, can you hear the fire crackling? You can hear the... Yes, excellent. So today we're going to be reading from this book of mine, Frightful Folklore of North America, Illustrated Folk Horror from Greenland to the Panama Canal. Written and illustrated by Mike Bass or Bass. This is a collection of stories and tales and legends that are passed down. Some of them, or I suppose all of them, they got to us somehow. But some of these are like old Native American myths and things from all over the place. They're very cool. How would we like to read through this? There are a lot of stories that I can see in the contents. Shall I put it up close for you to read with me? Is that helpful? Or should I start with what I want to show you? We could start on page 24 with the Kalapiliwit, which is from Inuit folklore. And it is a creature that I am previously aware of before getting this book. So it's nice to have a book that contains a little bit of knowledge I already had. You know, old stories that I've heard in incomplete ways or in different ways told and illustrated here is very lovely. Is the fire crackling over loud? It might be a little loud for me. If you can you still hear it when it's that low? A little? Well, surely that's well enough. So we'll start with the Kalupiliwit from Nunavut, Canada. In the far north of the Arctic, the different seasons bring constant change to the sea of ice. As the frigid air gets warmer in the spring, the ice thins and large thaw holes open up, causing violent downrushes of meltwater. As the warmth of fall gradually wanes, the ocean begins its annual freeze. And the surface of the water ices over, giving the deceptive appearance of solid, traversable land. This is the ever-changing environment in which the Kalupiliwit stalk their prey. Young children, foolhardy and brazen enough to play at the edges of the icy sea. Making a home in the frozen Arctic waters, the Kalupiliwit spend most of their time in pursuit of small children to steal. Swimming below the ice, they look for little shadows cast on the surface above. Once they have found their prey, the Kalupiliwit try to draw the children ever closer. By knocking and tapping on the ice, by humming a familiar lullaby, or by mimicking the sounds of the children's parents. No matter the means, the end is always the Kalupiliwit's sole pursuit, the snatching of children. None of the children that the Kellipiluit have stolen have ever returned, and no one knows why they are taken. Those who are hopeful believe that the Kellipiluit are lonely and want a bit of company in their underwater lairs, while others believe the children are put to work, ceaselessly toiling, catering to a Kellipilux every want and need. But those who know the true nature of this desolate and unforgiving land presume that all the Kellipiluits' cunning and endless hunting is simply to satisfy their insatiable hunger for human flesh. Excuse my phone. Inuit elders say that when the ocean becomes uneasy or when a cold fog rises from the surface, a Kellipiluk with her scaly green skin, long black hair, and keen-edged black and jagged claws is lurking in angry waters just below the ice, waiting, patient and wanting, ravenous and hungry. Once she has small ones in her grasp, they will never be seen again. Any hope of finding them will come to naught, but this doesn't mean the torment is over. The Kellipiluits often mercilessly mock the parents of stolen children, crying out in the voices of their lost ones for days after they've gone missing, haunting those left behind. So, a bit of a grim tale. Excuse me a moment, I have to close the window. Oops. How did we enjoy that? Have you heard that before? You like it? Excuse me. I appear to have forgotten my water. I'll be back momentarily. I like that story. It reminds me of a story that I was told as a child back on my reserve when I had a chance to visit them as a very young fellow. It was a tale of the wild women of the woods. So it's similar it's just a warning. You know, it's supposed to be, don't go into that place, it's dangerous. Because there's a creature there catching. So the wild women of the woods over in BC, here where I'm from, are fucking, excuse me, they're big, awful monstrosities, massive women with buckets on their back, or woven baskets. My favorite streamo. Hello. I'm talking about the wild women of the woods, an old story that I was told back on the res of, like I was saying, these women that are massive and they lurk in the woods and they come and get you if you're out at night or if you're acting bad. Now, this had been my first time hearing this story and my first time traveling days to get to this reserve. A long trip by a very small boat, and there's only one ferry a week coming in and out of there. So I'm a 7-year-old boy seeing my mother for the first time in a long time, and she's telling me a story of these creatures that just lurk. And I've been traveling around the res all day exploring everything, or all week at that point, exploring everything. And I'm hearing these stories of things in our forests. And I keep asking questions, right? So now at this point I know that the wild women of the woods are 15 feet tall, blend in with the trees, their baskets on their backs full of brambles in which to throw children that are out after dark or misbehaving. And I asked my mother, can they get me in bed? She said, yes, they can. They can get you right here. I said, how would they get me? She said, well, they're very big. You know, how do you think they would get you? I said, well, can they come through the walls? And she said, yes, they can. They can come through the walls. I kept making it scarier and scarier for myself by asking questions, and all my mother did was say yes, making shit up. So that's what's very enjoyable about these stories, is the extra danger that you can place into them with your imagination. A lot of them are very vague. Or they're just word of mouth tales that have been passed and passed and passed, so everybody's got a version of them. All good storytellers switch it up a little. Maybe a little fibbing here and there. Shall we move on to the next one? I think a lot of cultures have a similar sort of story to scare kids to not venture off too far. Exactly. Outside of that too is just different places have unique danger in their wilderness or in their surroundings, just wherever they're set up at, it's a different thing. So being able to hear all these different warnings of different terrors that I have never had to deal with is cool. I haven't really had many instances in my life where I had to avoid the Kelapilluit or any of their ilk. But I have been surrounded by trees and mountains my whole life. So the types of things that I was afraid of were like cougars and raccoons and bears and wild women of the woods. And here on page 33, the Staya Chachma. Oh, did I show you the illustration of the Kelapilluit? This is a Kelapilluk. That's the singular of the Kelapilluit. Can I unplug the water bowl, please? Is that better? Love that guy. That guy's a girl. Just like the wild women of the woods, the Kelapilluit are women. Green women with hair like seaweed. I never did finish that story about the wild women of the woods. I had a nightmare that night about them. That I was walking on the res and just walking on by myself, overcast as it was the whole time, and just getting snatched and thrown into a basket and run up a mountain. And I just remembered traveling very fast, very similar to the scene in Twilight when Edward is running Bella around BC, very hoa hoa, in this basket that I could see faint shimmers of light. I could just faintly see outside from this massive basket. It grew on the inside. It got bigger as I was thrown in. And I was run up a mountain and brought over clouds onto a lone rocky peak where there were several barren trees, just large logs put into the earth. And another child had been cooking in a pot, and then they ate him in front of me, and the dream became them preparing me to be eaten. And that preparation included just keeping me up there at the top of the mountain where I would starve forever, and I couldn't die from starvation. And just all that stuff I made up in my head about the wild woman of the woods. So stuff like this is fun, and it's fun that I'm not as scared of it now as an adult, but I still have the imagination that all these images are so vivid to me, and that all these stories make me want to make my own stories. This is the story of the Stayeh Hakmah of the Pacific Northwest. There appears to be an intruder in my home. Do you want to push this against it? I think I have something to push against. Do you need a hand? One moment. I'll be right back. We have to solve a few things. Okay. Was that a chicken? I don't know why I heard a chicken just now. Hello. I'm back. This is the story of the Stayeh Hakmah. Long ago, they were like any other tribe, a reclusive people who lived on the edges of the wilderness. Wary of outsiders, they were not what you'd call kind, but they weren't malicious either. They simply kept to their own and left others to theirs. As time passed, 100 generations or more, they became more reclusive. Once a lean and strong people, years of solitude and hiding means they are now bent, wiry and gaunt. Wild and rough creatures who no longer see themselves as human, but instead as hunters of humans. Their once lusciously thick black hair now hangs lank over their motionless, angular, and hollow eyed faces. Even their speech is no longer human, and they instead communicate via the pops and clicks of snapping twigs, the sighs and groans of bending trees, and the songs of birds and cries of animals. Many call them the invisible tribe, because you'll not see them, even if they're near. You will know they're there, however, when an inscrutable eeriness raises the hairs on the back of your neck, when the sounds of the wood is not quite as it should be, or when there is an unfamiliar scent on the air, and when you fall into disorientation and a state of high anxiety. When the tribe come for you, covered in soil and clay, and dressed in twigs and sticks, it seems as though the forest itself has come to life. Brush and bramble begin to stalk you. Many who are caught are carried back to a hidden camp, and are even strung up, clumsily butchered. If they are hungry, they may tear their prey to shreds on the spot in a ravenous blood feast. If stolen children are young enough, they are kept and raised as the tribe's own, and taken women are often kept as wives. Regardless of what becomes of those who fall into their hands, one truth remains constant: they will never be seen again. The tribe, turned to wilderness, has evolved into an aggressive rapaciousness, and they strike with brutal and immediate cruelty against anyone they view as being disrespectful to them or their land. Regardless of the victim's intention, just saying the tribe's name out loud, Steyehama, can be provocation enough. The best form of defense, therefore, is to never speak of them at all. What do you think of that story? This is the illustration of the Steyehama, the tribe turned to wilderness. They gonna get you now? Yes, they are. A lot of native stories say not even to say their name, like, Wendigo and things like that. And sometimes I feel more superstitious than others, and I actually don't say the names. And other times I remember that they're just stories and kind of just tag it. Do you have any thoughts? I like this story a lot. It's been fun trying to draw tree people because of it. Makes me think of cedar boughs and how they look and how cedar bark feels and smells and just all of that. Makes me miss being in the forest, even though it's creepy. Surely. Yeah, I suppose I'll find out if these are stories or not, as long as I keep saying these names and provocating. Ooh, we could do another one that you might know, assuming you're in the province of beautiful British Columbia. Have you ever heard of the Ogopogo? Little ASMR attempt. You'd like for me to switch to ASMR? Wild Forest Tribe and Legends. Share your favorite native stories. AI summary. Something like that. So, a little thing I didn't mention at the beginning of the stream. because I had forgotten, is that I will also be doing some ASMR. Excuse me. Starting now. I have a little bag of goodies, of things for you to enjoy. Should I bring the camera closer or something? Should probably mention you have no idea what ASMR is. Yes, I figured that would be evident. I had forgotten to mention this is my first time attempting ASMR. I have no previous experience watching or listening to ASMR, as it's just not something that I've sought. It's been shown to me, and I have a very low understanding of it. But I enjoy exploring unknown things. So we could start somewhere easy with these happy swing rolls. I believe I've seen things of that sort. Should I? Do we want a crackling fire for this? Does it add or take away? I'm getting a little bit of tinnitus. That's a funny thing to have. ASMR usually does like a little soothing music. Would you like me to put on ASMR soothing music? Yes, Scully. Okay. Sleep super smooth ASMR triggers, in parentheses. Blissful REM sleep music. Binaural beats. 2.0 hertz, just so you know. Or are we more interested in resetting your vagus nerve for sleep? There's a gentleman with a cat encased in some sort of... Oh, it's just a bed on. You're the expert. Can you hear it? Oops. This works. I hope so. Now shall we begin? This is my Happy Swing Roll, a cocoa snack I purchased today. You see part of it. Would you like to see? How delectable. How scrumptious. Would you like to share these with me? It's making my mouth water. Would you like some? Do you need to? Oh, can you hear it? Am I ASMRing you yet? Can you hear the crunches? Would you like some? Here, what if I can like rub them together like a cricket? Is that ASMR? What a lovely snack. I better stop now before I eat them all. That's a wink. What a tasty snack. How did we like that? How's that for a start? Shall we move on to our next item? It appears to be some sort of black case. How's that? And a zipper. A little stuff. A little ASMR zipper. Sorry. It's a little toothy pair of scissors. Here's a second pair of scissors. Can you hear that okay? Barbershop ASMR is popular. I was not aware of that. The only ASMR that I was aware of was people clacking long nails and the one with the pool of balls. And that's about it. I may have put this away wrong. I didn't know I was partaking of an art form for really and for truly in my barber shop. How do I look? Or do I like it? I bet you can make some kind of art / drawing related ASMR. I reckon so. I've seen some of them, and I think I could do it better. I don't particularly find it ASMR. Some of the drawing ASMRs that I've seen, when there's a real loud grating pencil. I find drawing to be relaxing for other reasons. The real noise is drawing, and art in general has a lot of very satisfying sounds. But if what you're interested in is some grading, pencil on a paper, I could provide that as well. Do we like this noise? This brings me back to being a child with my first comb. I was playing with that thing. Was even sleeping to ASMR and Procreate the other night. Yeah, I see. This is a very satisfying noise. Perhaps barbershop ASMR is more to my liking. This is enthralling. I have what appears to be a club made out of shark's teeth. I don't know if it's safe for me to, I don't know how to. I didn't even think of you finding your own triggers. Yeah, neither did I suppose. I imagined this as a little more, I believe there's a razor on this. I'll be careful of the razor. I had an image of more plastic wrappers. I am pleasantly surprised. I enjoy this. Although I find it difficult to ASMR this thing. It's a little... I think this thing is some sort of razor, yes. I got... These little peach fuzzies, perhaps. Can you hear it on my skin? What a fun implement. Now, how can we... Would you like to have a matching clip in your hair? We could twin. Is that pleasant noise? Pleasurable experience? This also has teeth. I'll put this back so I don't lose it. That has been our little set. Is there anything we'd like to see before I put this away? Perhaps I should. I don't know if I have a way of turning off notifications at the moment. If only the senile old man knew how to work his phone. The button for my volume broke on the last stream that I was doing. I was doing a bit too intense of an ASMR roleplay, I suppose. And the button to adjust my volume and bring up my options for silencing my phone is now gone. When you snip the scissors. Do people, I imagine, cut hairs or fibers during these barber streams? Read my comment above that, Lamar. Big thing in ASMR is also satisfying words that can also be triggers, like saying snip, snip, snip. Onomatopoeia. Snip, snip, snip. You enjoy when I snip at you? Snip. What other trigger words? Sleeper phrases. Just pretend. Oh, I was not about to cut my hair. I have a lot of it, but my barber works hard. And so does my skull in producing these hairs. I'd hate to make a mistake on them. That was our little barber kit. Our barbing kit. With our zipper. Zip. Pineapple repeated. Pineapple. 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 I have cotton pads, tampons, Democrians, mojadillas de algodón. I don't know how. How does that sound? Where are my glasses? Can you hear it rubbing on my skin? Or is it just really loud in my ears? AI summary. Barbershop ASMR sounds like kind of fast. Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. I need to find a way to turn off my notifications for you fine folks listening. Oh, yes. So, after the button fell off of my phone yesterday, I learned that the only way for me to turn the volume down is to jam a toothpick into my phone. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. See the P sounds, the alliteration. Pineapple, we hear. Is that what you'd like to hear? Or would you like ps and s? Do you get some visual trick from perhaps? Let's start with a fresh cotton pad. A small stack of cotton pad. Can you hear them rubbing against each other? Here. Do you want a hint? Do you dislike my ASMR? I would love a hint. No, it could. Reminder, this is my first attempt at ASMR. I'm exploring these items. These sensory triggers. This meditation. The plastic wrap squishy. Oh, I suppose I was avoiding that. I even made sure to pick it up as quietly as I could. Force of habit. Excuse me, my orca coaster was falling off of the desk. Squishy wrapper. This just in. A professional ASMR agent has informed me how's that? Squishy on the cog. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the roses. So smelly. Thank you for the roses. How is this? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Is it distracting when I stack ASMR triggers? Or is there some professional tech? No, that's what you do. Some professional tech, you say. Pineapple, 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 What do we think of the comment? Should I spend longer on each thing? Or should I learn it and move on? Perhaps I have not learned the cotton pad ASMR, knowledge through and through. We liked the scissors. We could go back to some scissors as well. Perhaps if there's things that we enjoy. I like that one. Zippers. Not necessarily the actual zipper, but this, my finger on a zipper. That's a little trigger. That feels nice. Do you like that? I like that. That was not very ASMR. Is there a protocol for dropping things or breaking ASMR? Do you apologize or throw some salt over your shoulder? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Am I doing it? Does that feel good? Does that make your skin tingle? I've heard that of ASMR. Like I've experienced that. Barbershop is usually POV roleplay, so you would pretend to cut our hair. So, what I'd like... Okay. The temptation to go into a loud character, as is my usual roleplay, is very high. So we're just gonna be gentle and move your little hairs off your little forehead. Excuse me. And then we're gonna I know what you're in for today. No need to tell me. I've been seeing you come around for long enough. How's that? Is that ASMR? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Do they say pineapple in the roleplay? That's a funny idea to me. Snip, 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 snip. Snip, 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 snip. You are. Can you hear when I rub the comb? Oh, here. That's the sound of a comb on your hair. Snip, 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 snip. I never heard pineapple. How do you like it? Do you enjoy pineapple, 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 pineapple? How is that? The comb would sound so nice on your mic. Maybe we ought to set it up in here. Oh yes, I have a very nice mic. If we wanted some more audible sounds, more pleasurable audio, more ASMR, that'd be a lovely thing to set up. Snip, 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 snip. Snip, 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 snip. Wow, you have a beautiful head of hair. But I'm sure you know that. You get to wear this all day long. I'm so jealous. Snip, 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 snip. I hope you don't cover this all with a hat. The world deserves to see your hair. More beauty in the world. Snip, 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 snip. Do you like it like this? Or is this more violent to the eyes? This seems a lot more intense than snip, snip. Do we like it like this? Snip, snip, snip. Now we'll just touch up your sides. Yeah, I can't remember what I asked. Wow, what beautiful, luscious locks. And what about thanking people who join? Do I address you? Do you enjoy that? If I called you by name? Or do you just enjoy me commenting about your beautiful hair? Snip, 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 snip. Am I snipping properly with my mouth? Snip, 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 snip. Mouth sounds are a big one, but I'm not so into those like most people. My all-time favorite is tongue clicking though. Like that? Or there's a lot of ways to click your tongue. Or like how about you, Tina? Do you enjoy tongue clicking? That type of tongue clicking? Does that feel good? mesmerizing. Yeah. How about this music? It will do, she said. Do we enjoy it? Can you hear it? This is gonna put me to sleep. I think that's the goal. I think the more of you that I can get to sleep, the happier I'll be. I told you. I've never done an ASMR stream, but I've certainly had people fall asleep to me talking and telling stories. But usually when I'm playing video games, oh, my poor cat. Hello, Penny. Hello, my love. I may have to... Give me one moment, and I'll be right back with you and your beautiful head of hair. My cat needs a little help. Hello. A little bit of soil had fallen into my poor cat's food dish earlier when my lovely daffodil fell. Where were we? I believe I was trimming the back of your head. Excuse me. Well, I believe I was. Oops. Ignore that. Just a little turbulence. What magnificent hair you have. I could just bag it and sell it. I don't even remember what else I put in the bag. Are we ready to move on? I'm just being led by you folks. What's in the bag can wait till another day if we'd like, if we're enjoying our haircut. Enjoying my snipping. A nice little pair of scissors. Excuse me. Sepulchral invites you to co-host. thank you for liking my live. I hope you're enjoying my first attempt at ASMR. And how many times have you been in here for haircuts now, if you wonder? Surely. Never gets old trimming these locks. Who did? Devil Karma invited me to co-host. Thank you, Devil Karma. It went away promptly. Now, what about laughing? Is laughing allowed on ASMR? Do people chuckle or guffaw, perhaps? Perhaps. Do I have what it takes to do ASMR? To do my S's sound pleasurable? Do my P's sound popping? Does my snipping please your ear and hair? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. It's be good. I don't remember what you said, Thina, about the pineapple. Do you enjoy that? That ASMR technique? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. The popping of the peas. Next time you should do a TikTok dance. Yes, do you have any suggestions? Shall I crump around the kitchen? I would bath, but I don't know if my baby will wake up. Well, take the baby into the bath. I never heard pineapple before. I'll find one. Now, do you enjoy pineapple? Is what I'm asking. Does that trigger your... what is it called? The ASMR triggers. Does it make your hair stand up? Does it make your mouth water, perhaps? What are you feeling? You look like Kevin Hart. I've heard that one a couple times. Must be the smile or the stature. He's quite a lofty man, is he not? Towering. I'm kinda scared. Be not afraid. This is your barbershop appointment. Just a little trim touch-up, as we often do. You've been here every 3 months, like a good little person, a good little so-and-so, coming by for your haircut for a couple years now. Are you trying to seduce me? I am trying to trim your hair. What would you like? A bowl cut, perhaps? You do have such beautiful hair. Not a bowl cut, perhaps a skullet for you. Snip, 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 That's a new one I learned today. An ASMR technique. Auditory meridian sensory response is what ASMR stands for. Triggers are like an oxytocin dump. Do you feel this oxytocin dump on you? When I say pineapple, 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 pineapple. It is very mesmerizing to watch these scissors open and close. Do you like Method of the Wu-Tang Clan? METHOD, man. The RZA, the Jizza, old dirty bastard, inspect your deck, Ghostface Killer. And the Method? I do enjoy the Method, if that's what you mean. Do you enjoy your haircut so far? Would you like to see the scissors? Snip, 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 snip. Now that whole song's playing in my head. Wouldn't that be such a fetching ASMR tune? Eat a crunchy. You know, I could do with a little snack. Do we enjoy a snack while I'm cutting your hair? Seems slightly unprofessional, but we're pretty comfortable with each other. You've been here a long time. Would you like some? Hello. Welcome to your haircut. How are you doing today? I like your glasses. Thank you. I like your hair. It's very beautiful and lovely. These glasses, on the other hand, they've seen better days. Spend a lot of time putting them back together. AI summary, ASMR haircuts, and pineapple triggers. What a fun summary. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Sorry, were we talking about something? Oh yes, my glasses. Yeah, these old things have been through a lot. Been to a lot of places. Been crushed by a handful of different things, but they've remained my trusty glasses through thick and thin. Just like you've remained my beloved patron all these years. Can you say Dominican Papi? I suppose I could. Dominican Papi. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Snip, 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 snip. Speak Spanish to us. Let's see. It's been a little while. Tú preguntas muchas cosas. Preguntas muchas cosas. Qué pena. Bésame. Bésame mucho. Like that? Do we enjoy some quiet Spanish singing? I love pineapples so much. I know this about you. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. See. Why? It's not often that my mind goes blank, or that I'm at a loss for words. I suppose I'm mesmerized by the scissors and this new experience we're having together. I can't remember any Spanish right now. I can barely remember English. I know. El muchacho de vive solo, necesita amor. Do you still go to school? What do you? No. I'm not pursuing any further education at the moment. Now I'm trying to think of all the Spanish phrases I know. ¿Puedo ofrecerte una copa? ¿Ya no conocimos? I believe that means, have we met before? Can I offer you a drink? What else is in the bag? Okay, I'm in college. Oh, excuse me, I'm in collage. What are you studying in college? Me gusta manzanas. Eres muy bonita. Mi corazón. Mi corazón. Te quiero. Hello, my cat. Hello, my love. returned. Do not really remember, but I noisily don't care. Which is to say, while you're studying, my cat is sneezing. Is that ASMR? Oh, she's intrigued. Do you like this, Penny? Hello. How are we enjoying our haircut so far? I believe there is a request to see what else is in the bag. We can end that little segment. We'll move on from your haircut to the next item. Math. I enjoy math. It is one thing that I'd like to learn more of. Math. A little bag. I enjoy that. I like this part. You like math? I love math. I wish I was better at it. I'm sure you've learned much more advanced things than I have knowledge of. That's very lovely. I enjoy learning new things, such as this ASMR. It's been fun. How do I ASMR you with this? Can you say 6-7 and do ASMR with it? Fun question. Where is your shirt? Somewhere in the closet, I'm sure. I'm sure it's somewhere around. I don't think I need one at the moment, though. Can you hear this brush at all? I'm rubbing and pressing and stroking. Are you gonna do it? No. How do I ASMR you with the brush? 6-7. 6-7. It does have S noises. Do you enjoy the 6-7? Does that feel like ASMR? Emo. I like emo people. I like emo culture. What I know of it. No, not really. How do I ASMR you with the brush? Do you like this? Do you like to see it pop back into shape? You love Club Penguin, so you do. Club Penguin. I never had the opportunity to play it. I was not on the computer very much as a young one. POV makeup. Oh, would you like me to? I'm doing your makeup now. Our appointment was never finished. I've just finished your hair. Now let's give you a little dust off and a little bit of makeup for those lovely cheeks of yours. I love makeup. You like some blush? Well, here you go. Your lovely, lovely cheeks. A little A bit of blush for you. What a beautiful set of cheeks you have. My makeup looks really bad. Oh, I don't think so at all. Just use a small hand. That's what you're here for. There's no shame in making a mistake in your makeup or on your hair or anywhere, really. Most mistakes can be fixed or helped in one way or another, and that's what I'm here for. So just relax. Let me help you. And let me take care of you and your lovely, lovely hair and face. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. We like the pineapple barber? Or are we more... What is another ASMR trigger word that I can say for you? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. You can hear me when I whisper, can't you? See, I'm brushing your little face. Excuse me. Doorbell. Doorbell, doorbell. Is that just a personal request, or is that an ASMR trigger word? This is my first time doing ASMR. I'm learning as I go. This is not your first time coming to me to get your makeup done, though. You've been here. We know each other. It's so lovely to see you again. How have you been? You have such beautiful cheeks. That's not too forward at this point. Let me get your eyelids. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Now, I professionally do makeup, but this is the only tool I have. Would you like for me to move on from doing your makeup? Or do you enjoy this experience so far? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. Thank you for the roses. Next, like the hit television show of the early 2000s, next. Pen, pineapple, apple pen. Pen, pineapple, apple pen. Do you feel the ASMR in that phrase? Pineapple, 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 pen. Pineapple. Oh. I think bristles are falling off of this brush. Next trigger. Let's see. In our little bag of tricks, we have a bag of wet wipes, a bag, a package, I've always enjoyed the click of this. A little click, click, click. Is this anything? This little. Oh. I enjoyed that. How do we like that? The feel of that. Or do we like our little squishy bag? I could perhaps give my nose a little wipe from that nasty little brush. It made me all itchy. That's cheating. That just feels good for the same reason the zipper does. Do you have any suggestions with this trigger object? Our 0% fragrance? Is that very ASMR when the streamer fumbles and tumbles through his sentences? Pineapple, 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 pineapple. I suppose that's why we repeat the same words, so we don't lose the mystique. So you don't have to hear me fumble through sentences. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. How about if I crinkle it and I have a snack? How's this? A lot of ideas with this. Do we enjoy wet wipes ASMR? Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the roses, so smelly. Can you please wish Mick Gussie a happy birthday and Mercer a fun time abroad? Mick Gussie, I don't possibly see how those could be bad things. Happy birthday, Mick Gussie. Time abroad. Mercer. How do we like that? Is there an ASMR technique for drinking water? Remember to stay hydrated. What has been our favorite so far? This has been the Rascals brand baby wet wipes. We had this barber set. With our little pair of snipping scissors. After all the snipping, they seem to have gained a little slight squeak sometimes. And then we had Show Haley the comb. How's that? Maybe I'll have to see an example of ASMR tongue clicking. But I imagine there's a few different ways they do it, huh? That'll put you to sleep. That's the goal. The more people that fall asleep to the stream, the more the views stay the same. That's the trick. If you just simply fall asleep, I can keep my job. Let me in. It appears as though you are in. Welcome. The live. As I said, it appears as though you are in. Yes, like a guest. I'm okay. I have enough guests at the moment. Thank you for the request. The person trolling? I assume so. Notifications look a little different than that. No need to worry. We have a nice mesmerizing little comb. It feels so nice on my fingers. Your baby cry. I'm sorry. Why do they gotta do that? That's one way to think about it, but baby crying is natural. They're just talking, calling for you. Even though it's not always the loveliest noise, baby cries can be a bit scary. Can you say, hi, Brooks and Julia? Hello, Brooks. Hello, Julia. I like those names. I've always thought that Julia was a lovely name. And Brooks, thinking of a brook, some soothing water running. I love that. Reminds me of home. How do we like the comb? Isn't this mesmerizing? Love it, me too. What an old memory this brings up. I used to carry a little comb in my pocket and play with it just like this until I bent all of the teeth out of shape. That must be why I stopped doing it. Or just the passage of time. There are a lot of things that I used to do as a child that I still do to this day, though. So I guess I just got busy. And I had no more time to enjoy my comb. Not until today, here with you. Enjoy ASMR. Excuse my not very ASMR-like alarm. My apologies. I would like another of these. Delightful little wafer treats. Not last minute at all, my friend. It's so nice to see you. I'm exploring this comb, an attempt to share some ASMR stimulation with you. This is my first time doing an ASMR stream, as you should well know. But I suppose that's not fully true. I spend lots of streams talking and whispering and things like that, telling stories, different kind of ASMR, but it in the same vein. I've been discovering an enjoyment for ASMR. So satisfying. Yes, it is. I hear it's also satisfying to hear the word pineapple repeated. I imagine for the alliteration, for the P's. Pineapple, 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 pineapple. I like this thing. Don't forget to tap the comb too. How do we like? Do we enjoy that? Can you pick another fruit? I would need a suggestion. Pineapple. That's one that was told to me. I didn't make it up. I don't know how to make ASMR words up yet. Passion fruit that has P's and S's. Passion fruit. Passion. Sassafragalistic expialidocious. Does that have ASMR to it? Watermelon. Watermelon. Exploring every letter of watermelon. How does that feel? A tingle? Explosion. Explosion. I tend to go by he, him pronouns. I'm a boy, I suppose. A man, I would say. If that's not too daring of me. You're under my bed. We have a visitor. How lovely. I'm under Lucia's bed. Extra lovely. What a lovely person to have under your bed, my good friend, the dreamy jester. How I do love you. You are a very lovely person, dreamy jester. It's so nice to see you again. I love you too. Yesterday you were a 90-year-old man. You really know how to make an old man blush. Leah, same, said, "You're so fine." Thank you. But I'm behind you. Well, you don't have to hide. We can spend some time together. I could spend some time behind you, perhaps, sneaking, if that's ASMR for you. Can I join your live? I want to do a giveaway. No. Thank you. Thank you, Pixie Lee, for being my lovely and beautiful moderator. Can't stay long, but hope the live goes well. Thank you very much for coming at all. It is an honor and a privilege to have you here with me, my beloved friend. Any second that I get to spend with my homie, Dreamy Jester, is a moment well spent. And whatever you have to do must be done. I don't mind saying see you later for a little bit. It's a privilege to have you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, Lucia. Lucia. Is there anything else in the bag? No. Because you're in my home. I suppose by definition you'd be a homie. Or a frogger, perhaps. Frogger. Does that have ASMR potential? I'm a frog. Frogs are my favorite animal. Frogs and ravens. Storytellers and tricksters. I love frogs. All herpetiles. Girl, I was with you last night, right? My man doesn't believe me. Yes, you were with me as always, getting your hair cut. And your makeup done. With me. Same time. Every 3 months. Right here. There is nothing else in the bag, Pixie Lee. But to prove that this fine person was getting their hair cut, my little barber kid. Do you wear makeup? No. I would like to wear makeup. Ooh, I almost dropped the glass. My scissors. Excuse me. I do not wear makeup. Occasionally I'll wear nail polish. I used to have lipstick somewhere, but I got lost in the move. Are you part of the LGBTQ community? Yes. What a mesmerizing sound. I enjoy the scissors on your luscious locks. You've been here all day last night or whichever time it was. You were here. ASMR fruit tasting is the new AI summary. Fruit tasting, huh? The only fruits I have are bananas. A banana does sound tasty right now. Do I wear makeup? And am I part of the LGBTQ community? Are you perhaps asking if I would dress in drag for stream? I think that's a fine idea. some very non-ASMR-like noises in this house. Scampering and the likes. I like your ASMR. Thank you. This is my first time streaming ASMR. I'm exploring and learning these triggers. Getting new sensations with you. Cutting your hair, for example. That's new for me. Where is it? I believe you've been coming by here for a few years now, haven't you? I didn't recognize you with how long your hair was. It's been a little while. What beautiful locks you have. Mayhaps a bedtime story? I could read a story to you. It might be a little scary. Native myths often are. Oops. Don't mind that. Yeah, I just got all cozy in my bed. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Nice and cozy in bed. What an excellent time for a story. We were reading from my book earlier of Frightful Folklore of North America. Illustrated folk horror from Greenland to the Panama Canal. I am sick. I hope you get better. Oh, pronouns wise. Pronouns wise. Are you asking me my pronouns? I use he, him pronouns, but I feel comfortable with they, them pronouns. And I like answering to many pronouns. I think it's fun when somebody says, "Hey girl, how you doing?" I'm pretty comfortable with all of those. Hello, it. How are you? I'm doing very well. I'm looking through my book of tales, of North American stories to share with you. There's so many in this. Earlier I was reading of the Kalapilluit from Inuit lore. And then I read of the Steyachachmach, a tribe of people living in the forest. I could read Erlavirsiniuk to you. That is a tale from Greenland. Erlavirsiniuk is a figure of their lore. That's a favorite of mine. I enjoyed the Mahaha. Shall I tell you of the Mahaha? On page 38. The Mahaha is also an Inuit tale from Nunavut. The Mahaha. Laughing boosts the immune system, increases our intake of oxygen, strengthens organs and muscle function, and helps in coping with stress. The endorphins released when we laugh give us an emotional boost and can help to diminish pain. It is often said, therefore, that laughter is the best medicine. But far north in the frozen Arctic, the Mahaha is proof that too much laughter can be a bad thing and could even be deadly. At first, you might notice only the strange carved shapes in the ice and rock, curious formations and structures built of snow. When you hear faint, maniacal giggling in the distance, however, you know that you are being stalked by the Mahaha. At first, he tries to confuse you, causing disagreements and discord among the members of your group, deliberately creating animosity and eventually division. When people begin to break off to try to make a go of it alone, this is when the Mahaha strikes. Barefoot and barely clothed, the Mahaha stands still against the frozen horizon, his eyes peering at his victims through a tangle of ragged black, filthy and frozen hair, are haunting and blank, pale, white, and frosted, as emotionless as his twisted, rictus grin. Despite his stillness, the unnerving shriek of his incessant giggling, scattered and uneasy, derisive and indecent, is always echoing around you. This situation can continue indefinitely, the Mahaha mocking you both day and night, always finding ways to surprise you, and at each encounter slowly creeping a step or two closer toward you. With each move, his appearance becomes more visible, ice blue skin and a withered form, meager and sinewy, as if gnawed away by the frigid Arctic winds. But it is the Mahaha's hands that reveal his true and vicious nature. Each of his fingers bears a long, sharp, and broken claw. When he finally makes his attack, it is with a simple stroke of a finger that the Mahaha induces uncontrollable fits of laughter in his victim. As his prey laughs, unable to regain composure, the Mahaha drains their very life force, consuming their energy, leaving behind an emaciated and frozen husk. Appearing outwardly as if they had frozen to death, the deceased are left with a telltale sign that the Mahaha is to blame for their demise, a twisted, forever frozen grimace. Reading a story? Yes, I'm reading a story of the Mahaha from Inuit lore, from Nunavut. This is the Mahaha. My favorite dinosaur. I enjoy the headbutting dinosaurs, the Pachysaurus, I believe it's called, something like that. I like those. I've always liked that they're like little battering rams. The Mahaha is another favorite of mine from this book. I've not read everything in this book yet. So far, the ones I'm reading you are the ones I've read so far. And I've been drawing from this book, from what it describes and what I imagine, making stories, illustrating myself a little. Would you like to see a few of my drawings? I've been specifically drawing the Mahaha, or a story about it at least. Can you say Anthony Spalo or Spalo? Anthony Spalo. Devin. Devin. Of course. This is a first little panel of a comic or sort of comic that I'm drawing of a story of a Mahaha. Hello, Ryan Evans. This is a scene of someone finding one of the Mahaha's carvings. And this is a little scene of the group falling apart under the Mahaha's influence and under the stress and duress of traversing the frigid north. A man discovers a carved ice or rock thing. It might be the first one he discovered. It might have been the fifth one. But it will certainly be his last as he runs and he leaves his group behind. I don't know how well you can see it in this dark. It's a rough copy. I've illustrated a few panels of the Mahaha chasing a man into a crevice, say, little things like that. I don't know if you got a very good look in this light. That's another plan, I'd like to take these drawings and these stories and tell them over streams and tell them over YouTube videos. Your voice is soothing. Thank you very much. I'm glad I can be soothing to you today. I hope we're nice and cozy. Some of us are in bed, receiving our bedtime stories. This is frightful folklore of North America. From Greenland to the Panama Canal. Would you like another one? I could read. There's a lot of fun ones. I like Ogopogo because I've been hearing that name since I was a kid. And I only just recently had the pleasure of learning this story. I wouldn't mind sharing that with you. Or Erlevirsinuk. But perhaps I'll show you the Ogopogo first. Ooh. So many exciting stories. Hey, Queen. Hello. Excuse me. I'm kicking you around, it seems. Hello yourself, Queen. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm about to read you the story of the Ogopogo, which is a local myth to British Columbia. I'm not missing any messages, am I? Excellent. Welcome, welcome. Get comfortable. I have another story for you. Ogopogo, British Columbia, Canada. The Siwipeme and Syilx peoples were the first to live on the shores of the ancient and deep Okanagan Lake. For centuries, they knew of the danger that resided in its waters. Naitaka, the spirit of the lake, lived in a cave in the waters near Rattlesnake Island and was known to possess an immense amount of power alongside a foul disposition. He sometimes took the shape of a large serpent, 70 feet long, with the diameter of a large tree. To cross Okanagan's waters safely, Naitaka demanded a blood offering. For hundreds of years, the First Nations would sacrifice small animals on the shore before entering the water. Knowing Naitaka could use his long tail to conjure up fierce storms and rough waters to drown those who offended him, Chief Timbasket, a proud man who visited the area, refused to offer a sacrifice to Naitaka, for his arrogance would not allow him to admit the existence of such a creature. He entered Okanagan in a canoe, accompanied by his family. He sat proudly in the stern of the boat, rowing slowly and methodically across the calm lake. All was well until suddenly the surface began to churn. Swirls of water dancing around the canoe whipped up into a torrent. And in an instant they were gone. The canoe, Chief Timbasket, and his whole family, all sucked to the bottom of the lake in a massive maelstrom. In the mid-1800s, John McDougall, a settler in the area, was crossing the lake as he had done many times before, with his horses tied up and swimming behind his canoe. As he approached the western shore, the horses began to get agitated and unsettled. As the water thrashed around them, one by one, the horses were pulled under. Acting immediately, he was able to cut the boat's rope just before he and his canoe met the same fate. Sightings have continued over the years, although encounters have become less common. Some believe that with the arrival of the European settlers to the region, Naitaka, now known as Ogopogo, has all but disappeared. That being said, Okanagan is the deadliest lake in British Columbia for drownings, so perhaps Naitaka simply waits for the food to find him rather than revealing himself in order to catch his prey. Can you read Primal Book next? Perhaps. I'll have a look at it. Thank you for the roses. So tasty. This is an illustration of the Ogopogo. I've heard of this my whole life. Are you familiar with the Ogopogo? For a long time, I didn't know it was a thing. A creature. I thought it had just been a fun word to say, made up by my family to scare me at the lake. Oops. Folklore, North America. What would we like now? I like the Hokoku. The Hokoku on page 50 is a large raven. I love ravens. Ravens and frogs are my favorite animals. I always knew frogs as storytellers from a show I would watch as a kid called Raven Tales. I learned native stories watching that show. My family had some CDs. I ought to look for some of those for myself, find some more stories to tell you. The Hokoku from British Columbia, Canada. Our minds are capable of subconsciously determining the height, width, and size of a given object based on our existing knowledge of other things that we see near it. But what happens when we look into the sky? Without a point of reference, it's practically impossible to determine the size of objects overhead. This optical impairity is exactly the advantage that the Hokoku needs to secure its prey. Soaring overhead, the Hokoku enters our vision as the dark shadow of the common raven. It rises and falls overhead, a black streak against the cobalt sky, and we barely give it a second thought. And this is the moment the Hokoku attacks. As it begins its descent, it becomes clear that this isn't a common raven after all. The bird is enormous, getting larger and larger until coal-black feathers eclipse the sky, and all at once you feel sharp talons sink into your flesh. Preferring the meat of humans to that of other, less intelligent creatures, the Hokoku will attack even the scrawniest of people before it turns to horses and livestock. Taking great joy in playing with its food, the Hokoku viciously toys with its prey before killing it, ascending rapidly, arching high in the sky, then repeatedly dropping and catching its snack, sometimes passing it from one claw to another in midair. What are you talking about? I'm reading a story of the Hokoku. It is a large raven. The Hokoku rarely kills with its great talons. Instead, the kill strike is efficiently delivered by its obsidian, thick and slightly curved beak, hard as good steel and made for breaking and crunching bones and cracking human skulls. The Hokoku considers the eyes and brains of humans to be nourishing delicacies. In some cases, it will only consume the brain, leaving the rest of the body for scavengers to feast on. Lucky is the prey that is eaten on the spot, even after being toyed with for at least the end comes quickly with a proficient blow. Less fortunate targets are carried off to nests high in the mountains, where they are given, still alive, to the Hokoku's young, who, unskilled in killing prey, will clumsily tear at their victim's flesh, painfully prolonging their demise. Hokoku ASMR, please. Yes. Do ASMR. Do I remember Lucia? Yes, I remember Lucia. Allegra. Alegria. I know Alegria is a name. I like that name. Allegra. You like Hokoku ASMR? She's your best friend. Well, hello, best friend of Lucia. It's so nice to have you here. I love the way you say my name. Allegra. Well, here you are, Allegra. This is the Hokoku. We're both under your bed. Welcome to Under My Bed. Sorry, there's not much room down there. Hokoku. Not the Hokoku. That sounds like something a Hokoku would say. Very comfortable? Excellent. I'm so happy you could be here. Get comfortable. Enjoy yourself. Under my bed, behind me, wherever you might be. Thank you for coming. So, how are you? I'm well. I use he, him pronouns, but I'll answer to other ones. We love you. I love you too. Would we like another story? No. I like the story of the Pacoops. They're a funny little guy. Quit talking. Pineapple. I could tell the story of the Pacoops. I could tell the story of the Gichigami Goonch. Perhaps on page 71. I loved the way Gichigami Goonch sounds. I don't remember if I've read it yet. This might be a first time on stream. Page 71. The Gichigami Goonch of Minnesota in the United States. Do a dance for us. I don't think I'm dancing tonight. But at my next stream, I will probably dance. Oh, do you hear my spine cracking? Why? Because today is a low stimulation day. Today is a little break from the chaos of the usual streams. Great. Excellent. I've been in a slightly hunched position without realizing it. Shall we read the Gichigami Goonch? Flowing between the twin ports of Superior, Wisconsin, and Duluth, Minnesota, the St. Louis River lazily empties into Lake Superior. Once wild, concrete and rebar have softened its shores, and dredging has calmed its rapids. But the urban growth, excessive traffic, and years of industry of these two cities have also poisoned the river waters and contaminated its sediment. By the mid-20th century, the St. Louis River was the most polluted waterway in both states. This man-made evolution to an urban waterway was not entirely pacified, has not entirely pacified the once wild river. As humans have harnessed the technology to tame it, a more savage development has occurred. One which is instinctively aggressive, fearless, and made of flesh, bone, and sharp teeth. Lurking among the mucky sediment of the riverbed, feeding for decades on poisoned fish and human refuse, a monster has slowly grown. Nearly 25 feet long, covered in scales, but smooth, almost translucent skin. The creature's mouth cuts across the entirety of its body, a wide, gaping slit full of row after row of jagged, sharp teeth. Its eyes, as big as hubcaps, are highly developed for sight in silty waters. In the silty waters of the St. Louis. But it's the creature's barbels, like a cat's whiskers, that are its most developed sense. Part fingers, part tongue, they sweep the darkness, both feeling and tasting for something edible. Riding the warm currents of the St. Louis as it belches waste and toxins into the frigid waters of Lake Superior, the Goonch prowls the waters, ever searching for larger prey, Although too cold for even the hardiest of swimmers, these clear waters attract scuba divers from all over the world wanting to explore their mysterious depths. This monster does not discriminate. It doesn't mind what kind of flesh satiates it. Human or animal, it matters not. The goonch only knows that when it senses movement, some kind of meal is present. Violently twisting its massive head, it jerks open its mouth, sucking water, diver tanks and all, into the vacuum created by its gaping maw. Dragged over razor-sharp teeth and through the bone-crushing constriction of the creature's esophagus, the diver is carried into the goonch's belly. As if this isn't terrifying enough, with sufficient oxygen in their tank, it is possible that a diver could survive miserably for an hour or two before eventually taking their last breaths in the acidic stomach of the Gichigami goonch. That was the story of the... Oh, I forgot to show you the picture. The Gichigami goonch is a big old catfish. It's just a fish. It's just a little guy. I love this catfish. The Gichigami goonch. I like how they shorten it to the goonch. The goonch knows there's a meal. The goonch is aware of its next meal. Now let's see what we have. Scary Mary pops out. Tupilok pops out. Isle of Demons. Mimiquissawak pops out. What do we think? That is my moderator. Thank you, Pixie Lee. I love you. How are we feeling? Are we feeling done with the stories? Are you all done? I could go all night. Are you feeling well? Have you enjoyed our time? Hungry. That's my cue. Happy birthday. Thank you for joining. This has been my ASMR stream with tasty snacks and other various items that I practiced ASMR with today. I was just reading this book of frightful folklore, but I had just finished. The last story I read tonight was of the Gichigami goonch, a great big catfish of Lake Superior, or that area. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. I don't know what day I'll be back. I streamed on Monday, and yesterday on Friday. Today's Saturday. I believe tomorrow will be a day off. And I may be back on Monday or Wednesday. Perhaps with some sort of role play content or another scenario Yesterday I was role playing that we were at a bar at a company event, seeing each other. Today was a lot more chill. I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed joining me. And I love and appreciate you. You are loved and you are cared for. And I hope you have a beautiful night. Thank you for coming. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Oh, and thank you for the likes and for follows, and thank you for the roses. So tasty. I love you. Be well. See you.